Over the last few weeks, I've been actively chasing my dream, building my filmmaking business, learning VFX, posting content, emailing companies, pitching ideas, editing reels, and trying to make something real happen. And somewhere in the middle of all that, I realized something. What I used to think was working hard, it's just the starting point, the minimum. If you're serious about building something, really serious, then you need to understand one thing. You're not doing enough. Something that my coach recently said to me, and it's something that really stuck with me, was I want you to write down all of the advice that you would give to someone who's in your shoes. If you weren't you talking to you and they asked you, what should I do? How do I progress? How do I take that next step? I want you to write all that down and you're going to action out your own advice. And it was so simple. Everything that we seem to deem as too big of a task or impossible, it really gets shattered once we've been asked a couple of the key questions. What do you want to do? How are you going to get there? Why aren't you working on it right now? What else are you going to do instead of this? And the answers can really stump you. Sometimes I'd sit there and I'd overanalyze the situation so much that I'd overanalyze myself into scrolling on Instagram, where I'd go there looking for inspiration. I'd go there looking for a particular creator. And then 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, an hour later, I got distracted by a reel and I went down the rabbit hole. It's so easy to get caught up in this overanalyzation of things that you forget just how simple the road ahead is. And it really highlights you're just not doing enough. What I used to think was working hard, it's just the starting point, the minimum. It's not just one video a week. It's learning new tools at night. It's emailing 5 businesses in the morning, or 10, or 20, or 50. It's filming on the weekends. It's actually reaching out to your friends, your family, people that you've known for years to say, hey, what are you doing? Do you mind if I come and film you? Do you mind if I come and do some work with you this weekend where I can just film you? Because no one's going to hire you. No one's going to find you. No one's going to figure you out if they actually haven't got anything to find. You need to be out there. And I used to be somebody who used to think, I don't need to do social media. I'm going to get by on my own merit, on my own accord. But in this day and age, in this modern time, you're silly if you think that, because getting yourself, your public brand, your personal brand as your resume on social media, it will land you far more than cold calls and emailing and Instagram messaging alone. More often than not, people who want to get started in this industry, or people want to get started in any industry, most of the people will not find any traction. They'll overanalyze, they'll think it's too much, they'll think it's too impossible, and they won't even try. They won't even get started. They won't even reach out to anybody. And then it comes down to a few people who they start doing it, they realize it's not for them, and then they get discouraged. And then it comes down to you and one other person. That other person, who may be better or worse than you, they are the ones who are going out there and who are actually introducing themselves, because from what we think is this saturated market, it actually isn't that saturated. It's simply you're not the one who reached out and the other person is. Now, I may have butchered that, but honestly, that notion to me is so powerful. The fact that while you're overanalyzing and while you're sleeping on it and scrolling and getting distracted and wasting time, someone else took the leap and they were given the opportunity. And it doesn't matter how good they are, because they did it. And the work will go to somebody who can grow and who can find their feet, who can find their journey and unlock their potential. Going back and looking through my own portfolio, I realized just how rubbish it was. What I used to think was actually decent, or something that I was happy to put out there for the world to see, I couldn't be more upset with. Looking back on it now with fresh eyes, I realized I need to do better. I need to be going out there and making more happen, and showing more of what I can do, and finding what that niche will resonate with. So you will post, write, re-edit your own portfolio again and again to make sure it actually shows your potential. And then you have to wake up and do it all again. And the truth is, it's actually kind of exhausting and it's a little bit overwhelming. But honestly, it's one of the most motivating feelings I've had in a long time. Because for the first time, I actually feel like I'm in the arena, not waiting, not hoping, just doing. And it's made me realize how long I'd been standing on the sidelines calling it work. Now, this work might be fake busy work, which I've found myself doing so many times, which is some sort of Google spreadsheet or some sort of sending out 50 emails and then being like, yep, that's enough. Because for some weird reason, I've achieved this false sense of accomplishment and it's nothing. You've emailed 50 people. Great. What about the other 50, the other 100, the other 200 that you could be reaching out to? It could be that 250th that you reach out to that gives you the opportunity. Because in my experience, the last few weeks, the amount of people I've reached out to with getting nothing back, it does seem to show that the volume matters. So if you're watching this and you've been wondering why things aren't moving faster, ask yourself honestly, am I really doing enough? Are you pushing every day? Are you creating proof of what you're capable of? Or are you mistaking busy for progress? This isn't a guilt trip, this is a challenge. Because when you do start doing enough, more than enough, the momentum gets real. All it took was for me to start reaching out to the right people. And one person, a filmmaker here in Brisbane, reached out to me. And after getting a coffee together, we are now well underway of getting our film, or are getting our film ideated and underway. Sorry, I just used underway twice in a really bad way. All it took was for me to reach out to the right person who had just been waiting for somebody to reach out to them. And we got a coffee, we started working together, and now we are deep in the momentum of putting together our first pirate film, which I'm very excited for. There's a script, there's momentum, and it's happening, and it's so exciting. I'm documenting this whole journey, building my filmmaking business from scratch, learning visual effects, making short films, everything. If you're on your own path and want to see what it's really like to go all in, follow along. And in the comments, let me know. What's the one thing you need to be doing more of right now? I just want to take this last minute to just personally express my gratitude for everybody who's been watching and following along. It's actually really reassuring and great and wholesome to see people who are liking, commenting, following along, and showing support, which I really, really love. And it's also vulnerable, which I need to be more of. Because when you're vulnerable, you can actually start to get a bit more honest with yourself. You can get into the mirror and say, was that really your best work? Could you have done better? Not that you're going to actually overanalyze yourself into insanity, but you're going to look at it and think, I know what I need to do better next time. It doesn't need to be with filming or writing or anything specific with filmmaking. It could be anything that you're doing in your own journey. It just needs to be something that you're honest about, not with any ego, not with any sort of backlash to yourself or frustrations or impatience. You just need to be willing to improve that little bit every single day. And that's why I went back and looked at my portfolio and thought I could do so much better. All I know is there's more of me to uncover. There's more of my potential to achieve things that I don't even know about yet, things that I haven't even done, which I'm excited to find out. But in saying that, you don't understand how incredibly resourceful you can get when you need to be. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.